Let's bring in someone on the front lines of the pandemic, emergency medicine physician, Dr. Owais Durrani. Dr. Durrani, it's great to see you. We've seen a drastic shortage of tests of late in the U.S. Pharmacies completely out of them. People who want them, especially to have peace of mind, getting together with people during the holidays, can't get them. But if you were in the room with the FDA and they were saying, look, we have a robust process here. We want to make sure that any test we approve is creme de la creme, and you know that the result you get is as accurate as it could be with minimal error. What would you say back to that to push for a wider variety of tests?
Well, the answer is I wished we would have done that last year, but we did not. Now, the current rapid antigen tests we have in the market are approved under emergency use authorization as well. And the true recommendation for those is if you have a negative test, you should probably get a second test within a 24-hour period to confirm that it's negative because it's an emergency use authorized test. And so I would say approve these under an emergency use authorization, give guidance to us Americans on how to use them.
Dr. Fauci, speaking about the new CDC guidance, said one of the reasons for shortening the isolation period for COVID-positive patients is to, quote, get people back to the jobs and keep the society running smoothly, which caught a lot of people not off guard, but raised some eyebrows. And it is also interesting that prior to the CDC changing that recommendation, there was pressure from corporate CEOs saying, let's shorten the isolation period. I asked Dr. William Schaffner last night, are you confident that this new guidance is based solely in science? And he said 100% yes. Do you think this new guidance is based 100% in science?
Yeah, so I think it is based on science. If you look at the data that we have at 5 days, most people are not going to be infectious, but not all people. Now, that is what the guidance says. The guidance also says you should wear a mask for an additional 5 days. The problem is that we said that about vaccinated people. If you're vaccinated, take your mask off in May of 2021. But it seems like everyone took their mask off and we led to a summer surge. That is my fear with this. And so I hope we get enough tests so that at that 5-day period, we get updated guidance that you should test negative and then go back to work. I'm also concerned that a lot of private employers are going to say, oh, you're 5 days post your positive test, come back to work. And you may still have fatigue. You still may not be 100%. And they may say, no, you're asymptomatic, come back to work. And so I think we need safeguards in place so people are not pressured back to work too early and when their body is not yet ready.
And the consequence of not having those safeguards, do you worry about those consequences coming down on hospitals? Because I know that you said in an interview over the weekend, your hospital ran out of ICU beds. Do you worry about what's coming?
I do. We have so many nurses, so many physicians that are out. I get emails on a daily basis from, I'm credentialed at 2-3 different hospitals about them needing extra help because so many people are out. I think the updated guidance for healthcare workers was needed, but at the same time, if you look, if we go into a crisis mode, it says that you could be symptomatic and still be needed back at work. I think that's going too far. I think frontline workers have been asked of so much. A lot of frontline workers are burned out and fatigued, and when they're not 100%, asking them to go back to work and then potentially infecting other coworkers, and more importantly, their patients could be very dangerous. So I hope we never get to that level in the guidance.
Dr. Owais Durrani, I really appreciate your perspective and helping us understand this new guidance is based in science, even if the narrative looks bad, right? Corporate America says one thing, CDC recommends that, but reassuring for us, there is science foundation there. It's just a matter of having those safeguards. I so appreciate your perspective, especially when you're on the front lines of this. Thank you for that as well, and thank you for your time, sir. Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.